Police officers injured, cars destroyed, shop windows smashed. Will these rioters ever stop? Well, they might actually. We've got Minnesota lawmakers now pushing a bill that could ultimately let cities sue these rioters and protesters who violate the law. You could charge them for the cost of the police response to their demonstrations and riots. My next guest is sponsoring this bill. He's Minnesota State Representative Nick Zerwas. Good to have you, sir. So do you think if we start suing that crime and these riots and these protests, maybe they'll be dialed back? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think there needs to be consequences. We've seen time and time again where occupying freeways and trying to shut down the airport in Bloomington, it's become the go-to move for protesters with little to no consequences. Over the last 18 months, between Minneapolis, St. Paul, and just south of Minneapolis and Bloomington, we've spent $2.4 million on overtime to police these protests. I think there's time that there's a consequence for this.
How did this bill come about?
Well, for me, I had a constituent contact me last year who was devastated. She'd been very ill and had gotten an appointment to be seen at the Mayo Clinic. It took her 3 months to get to that time, and on her drive down, 35W was blocked and was stopped for hours. She missed that appointment. When she reached back out to the Mayo Clinic, her next appointment availability with that specialist wasn't for another 3 months. So she called me, and she was devastated because I'm into a 6-month wait to see the doctor. And I said, Real people are feeling these consequences every day. People that are just trying to drive and go about their life. I think it's time that these criminals feel the consequences.
Wait a second. Is she okay? What is going on with your constituent now?
She is okay. She was seen, and she was able to be seen by the specialist.
Okay.
But she was terrified.
Yeah, scary. Well, you know, other people have been terrified too. People caught up in the middle of these riots. We've had a number of victims who were caught up in these riots. They came on the show. I'd like your thoughts. Let's take a listen to what they had to say.
I suspect somebody with razor blades taped in their fingers just may have just gently brushed us or something like that. And, you know, if it had hit skin, we would have known about it.
They, you know, pushed us. They said horrible, vulgar things to us, things that I would never think to say to anybody, especially in that circumstance or even at all.
The last one was a widow of a Navy SEAL. She was spat on. We've had people who've been punched, who've been kicked. Some people have been maced. Is there, you know, here's the thing. I hear what you're doing, and I think you may be among the only few people who are out there saying enough is enough. Have you guys discussed whether or not there's a dollar amount to these victims paying?
Well, we're looking mainly at recouping local government costs, but certainly victims of individual assaults need to be compensated as well. The way I see it, if you're going to shut down a freeway, you should go to jail. And when you get out of jail, you ought to get the bill for the riot that you started.
All right. Minnesota State Representative Nick Zerwas, will you come back on the show and let us know what happened to your bill? Thanks. We would love to have you back on.
I absolutely will.
Okay. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much.